Good evening and welcome to our District 5180 District Governor Information Night. My name is Barbara Tracy and I am the chair of the District Nominating Committee, and I served as your district governor in 2016-17. Tonight you'll hear from several people, all who have served as district governor or are in line to serve in that role. We'll take you from start to finish in that role, and at the end we will give you the opportunity to ask any questions you may have. I'll start by sharing what you want to do prior to even applying, and we will finish with what you'll do once you are selected. Following me, you'll hear from DGN Karen Sendro, DGE Desiree Wilson, past District Governor Jack Arney, and the current District Governor Brent Hasty. So let's get started. Prior to applying, get to know the district. Get involved in the district at the district level by joining a committee. Take on a leadership role. Visit clubs other than your own. In other words, get active at the district level. Once selected, you'll want to start talking to people in leadership, visiting clubs. Make sure you get to those that are at a distance, and attending advisory finance committee meetings. This committee is made up of the three most immediate past district governors, the current district governor, and those in the district governor line, and it's responsible for advising the current district governor and keeping the district financially solvent. You should also start thinking about your year, your theme if you want one, and where and when the annual district conference will be held. You'll want to select an administrative assistant, and this role goes by a variety of names, but know that this person will serve as your right hand and needs to be organized, responsible, and know the district and its leaders. The year will go by quickly, and soon you'll be the DGN. So here's Karen to tell you a little bit about that year. Karen, you're on.
Hi, all. Well, it was about 7-8 months ago that I was selected as the DGD, and then in July became the DGN, which is the governor nominee. I will be following Desiree as governor-elect and Brent as governor. There's 4 areas that you need to focus on when you're in your DGN position: getting to know your governor line, getting to know the district, getting to know your clubs, and learning to be a governor. So let's talk about getting to know your governor line. You should continue working with the DGE and the DGD, who will be following me in this case. Desiree, our DGE, and I meet every Monday morning to plan, share ideas and thoughts, determine staff positions, and creating a continuity between the 2 years. You'll also serve, as Barbara mentioned, on the Advisory Finance Committee and in a voting role at this point. They are monthly meetings that discuss the finances and issues at the district level. You want to have conversations with past district governors. Understanding their successes and their challenges will help you through your year. Get to know the district. Put together your district assembly committee and begin working on that plan. I've already been working with the current DGE to design her district assembly by having bi-weekly meetings. Work on a budget for your year. Again, I worked a lot with the treasurer and Desiree on her budget to gain understanding of what my budget will look like when I start working on it in January. Attend district conference meetings, committee meetings, such as RYE, the Foundation, RILA, Peace, Membership, and Public Image. In this way, you'll get to know all of the workings of the district. Finalize your conference location before the end of your year as a nominee, and put together your chair and committee for your district conference. You'll also want to start putting together your district staff. Work to make it representative of the district. Have a heavy focus starting in January on getting your staff together. You'll work with your DGE to determine who to keep in positions for another year, as there are many positions that are 3-year terms. Third, you'll get to know your clubs. Visit your clubs as often as possible by attending meetings, and I had a great experience of attending some community service projects, especially in this time of COVID, where I got to know people face to face. Of course, 6 feet distanced. Work with the clubs that have not yet named your president for your year. As you start your DGN year, you'll probably have no presidents, and so this is a big push to get your president nominees selected for their clubs. And finally, you want to learn to be a governor. You attend the NATS training, which is a governor nominee training sessions, and the Zone Institute. Hopefully, we will have it live next year, and it will be held in Tucson. But for now, we are doing Zoom meetings every week from August through November, and it's been great to get to know my 32 classmates in the zones 26 and 27. You also want to help your district governor elect assist at PETS and attend the Far West PETS planning meetings for their term and then for your term. And finally, you will attend zone monthly meetings. So with that, I'm going to pass it on to District Governor-elect, Desiree. I got to get this right. Desiree Wilson. There's too many E's and N's and D's and yeah. Here you go, Desiree.
Thanks, Karen. I'm going to talk about your district governor-elect year. And this is a really busy year. For those of you that have gone through being president, you remember that president-elect year and all of the planning that you had to do. So I look at three main areas to focus on for the year as district governor-elect. And that would be planning, your training, and then committees that you're going to be a part of. So on the planning side, a lot of your planning is going to continue the work that you started that Karen mentioned as a district governor nominee. You're building your team and you're continuing to do that, looking for people within the district and representative of the district to be a part of your team. You're continuing to get the list of the president-elects for those presidents that are going to serve during the same year you're going to be district governor. And many clubs, it's interesting, they pick their president-elect at various times of the year. My club, Point West Rotary, we just picked our president-elect for 22-23. And it hasn't been announced yet, but we're that far out. Others, it's sometimes just a few weeks before the term starts. So you want to keep working on getting your full list of president-elects. Then you want to start planning your training. And a lot of the training, as you know, comes in the first 6 months or the first 6 months of the calendar year. So January to June, prior to the year that you start as a district governor, is a really busy time for training. You've got assistant governor training, you've got pre-PETS, you've got PETS, and you've got the district assembly. And those happen before the actual term starts. So a lot of planning goes into each one of those training sessions. And then as Karen mentioned, you're building your district budget, and that work continues during your year as a district governor-elect. And this is the year that you actually submit a proposed budget to the District Advisory Finance Committee for review and approval. And you have to take into consideration, what does membership look like, or what do you expect it to look like, so you can see what kind of revenues are coming in from dues. So that's planning. You will also be continuing to work on your district conference, and it's never too early to start on that. So even though it can be 2.5 years out when you're selected, it's still something to start working on and continue working on throughout. Next section is the training that you get as a district governor-elect. Karen mentioned NATS training, governor nominee training. Well, for a district governor-elect, it's GETS training, governor-elect training. And that is held again in Tucson along with the NATS training. That will be held next year in Tucson. This year it's virtual. So we're doing everything virtual this year. But GETS is a great time to meet those classmates of yours throughout the zones 26 and 27. And like Karen said, we have been getting all summer long and still getting every Monday morning an email with our homework for the week. Now the homework can take maybe a half hour, it can take maybe a couple of hours, but each week we are focusing on a different topic, whether it's the foundation or membership or public image, how to be a leader. It's really a great training. And so you have that every week, and then that culminates at the Rotary Institute with your GETS training. And right at the end of GETS training in the same location is the Rotary Institute. And that's where a district governor-elect graduates. And again, that's going to be virtual this year, but the expectation is next year we'll be back in person. And then finally, your last training as a district governor-elect is International Assembly, and that's normally held in January or February. And it is where all 535, I think, district governor-elects from around the world come to one location to meet and get their training. And it's I think a wonderful opportunity to connect with all of those folks that are going to be your classmates from around the world. And unfortunately, they just canceled an in-person International Assembly for next February. So we will be doing that virtual this year. But that's okay. Like Brent said, you know, we've got a lot of opportunities with this COVID to do things differently, and it's really an exciting time. The last thing is committee meetings. When you're selected as a district governor and in the district governor line, you start attending the Advisory Finance Committee meetings. Those are once a month. You're also part of the RILA board, and then you're also part of the PEPS Planning Committee meetings. And Karen mentioned that as a DGN, you go to the PEPS Planning Committee meetings, but as a DGE, you have a little bit bigger role because this is going to be your pets for your president-elects. And so you have a little more say in what goes on and how you create the day, the weekend for everybody and the curriculum. So it is a very busy year. I'm not even halfway through it, but I'm loving it and I'm having a great time. And now I'm going to turn it over to Jack Arney to tell you what the actual year as a district governor is like. Take it away, Jack.
Thanks, Desiree, and good evening, everybody. So now that you've been in the pipeline to become governor for 2.5 years, it's all the spotlight is on you. And you know, the number one job of the district governor, in my view, is leadership. And everybody leads a little differently, but I think the fundamental things that you need to think about and focus on as you consider becoming governor and go through the process of getting ready to be governor is a few items. And one is make sure that you're really clear about what your vision is and what you'd like to accomplish during your year and throughout your year with your staff at the district, with the advisory committee, and without question, all of your presidents. Be clear about what you want to accomplish, be clear about your vision, and make sure that you provide parameters to succeed in making that vision a reality. The next step, I think, is making sure that you decentralize your decision making. Once you've laid out your vision and being clear about what you want to accomplish and what the parameters are, it's time for you to let the presidents run their clubs in conjunction with what you want to accomplish and how they want to run their clubs, and also all of your committee chairs in the district, making sure that they can make the decisions as they work through the year and plan up to the year to accomplish those goals that they have for themselves in alignment with what you want to accomplish as the governor that year, because this is really your opportunity to make a huge difference in Rotary and in our communities. So this part of it's the hardest part, but it's the most satisfying part. So again, be clear about what you want to accomplish and decentralize that decision making down to the people that are assisting you and helping you make that vision become a reality. You know, you're going to be responsible for making sure you continue to inspire the presidents, spur them on during their year, because they're going to come into challenges during the year. You want to do the same thing with your district staff, constantly focusing on inspiring them and making sure that they have the energy, the enthusiasm, and the support to be as successful as possible. Next thing is, if anything goes wrong or doesn't calm down the way that you would hope, take personal responsibility for that not happening. Either you didn't provide enough training, you weren't clear enough in your vision, or you didn't set the expectations out very clearly, and maybe you didn't support them enough. So you need to take responsibility when things don't go well. And I think the final thing that I think is very important in all of this to make this work is you got to love on all your people. You have to love on your presidents. You got to love on your staff. You got to respect them. You got to provide them the support that they need, and making sure that they know that you care about them. And that you do that, you'll go a long ways to being successful during that year. Now, the other things you're going to be doing during the year is you're going to be helping support your clubs. and making sure that the clubs get what they need, provide advice and support, and your presence when needed. You're going to be the first point of contact if there's emergencies or fires or whatever comes up during the year. You're going to be the first person to contact, and you may have to deal with some major issues during the year, so be prepared to have to lead through a crisis, and know that that's probably coming. You're going to serve on the RILA board. You're going to be either the chair, or excuse me, you're going to serve on the RILA board actually or even earlier than that, and be part of that committee, preparing to become the chair or the secretary. You're going to serve on the advisory finance committee that Desiree and Karen talked about, where we get together once a month and help support the governor. And you'll be, during your governor year, you're going to talk a lot about what you're trying to accomplish and what you've done, and work through any potential issues you're running into, and get the support and advice of those that have been there before, and also share your experiences with the district governor-elect and nominee and designate as they are getting ready to become governor, so they can learn from you. You're going to be ongoingly, you're going to be supporting your committees and attending as many of those meetings as you possibly can to show their support so that they can be successful during the year. You're going to visit the clubs at least once, and if you have a chance, go around a second time. This is the best part of being governor, is being out in the district, meeting people you may have not been there before, and seeing what's going on. And I think that's the one thing that every governor will say was the best part of their year, was being engaged with the clubs and seeing all the great things that they're doing. It'll overwhelm you with how much is going on in the district, and make you very grateful that you took on the responsibility to serve as governor for that year. And I think the last thing is, you're going to be asked to help solve a lot of problems during the year, because they will come up. You're going to make sure, you also want to make sure, there's a couple of little additional things I thought of, is making sure that whatever training you haven't done prior to the year, you get it done earlier in the year, so that everybody is as up to speed as they possibly can, so they can be successful during the year. And the last part of it is have fun and enjoy being able to serve Rotary and serve the district in a unique way that you only get one chance to do it, and enjoy it. And with that, I'm going to pass it off to District Governor Brent Hasty to talk about what happens after you're district governor. Thank you.
Thanks, Jack. And here you thought you had made the first 3 years and life was good and you were stepping out the door much like a past president. Guess what? You're not quite halfway done with your term as the district governor. So next year, after you become district governor, you'll become past district governor. That first year after past district governor, in your 4th year, you will be the RILA, either the RILA chair or the RILA secretary for the committee, and that's a combined committee that's both 5190 and 5180. And in your 6th year, you will actually be chair of the district and advisory and finance committee, so you'll be running that committee. And then you'll come to your 7th year and the ending year, and you'll be in where Barbara Tracy, or past district governor Barbara, is right now, and chairing the nominating committee. So you'll be having an opportunity to work on picking the next district governor, the DG in. And so don't think that you're going to step out. You will continue to work within the district and give support. You're going to be expected to help everybody in the line. You're going to be expected to be around and give your advice and your wisdom. And trust me, you're going to get asked by lots of people for your guidance because of your as a past district governor. I think the other thing, and I will share this as I've shared it to others, one of the big things that happens is there's a lot of opportunities after you're a past district governor to work within zone and other places in Rotary. And I think that you will have boundless opportunities to continue to work in Rotary for the rest of your, not only your career as on the DFAC and within this line, but your continued life in Rotary. And lots of opportunities that you wouldn't have had unless you'd come through the line and become a past district governor. So I can't encourage you enough, and I can't I want to go back to what past district Jack said, Governor Jack said. There is nothing better. Having finished up my last of the club visits today, you will find so much joy in seeing your clubs and in hearing what they're doing, and you'll be incredibly proud to be a part of Rotary even more than you are now. So I could not encourage you more to take the step and become a district governor. So with that, I'll turn it over back to Barbara.
Okay, now it's time for questions. So Ray, if you'll make sure that attendees have the opportunity to ask, to have them unmute their mics, we'll go ahead and answer any questions that come up. And those of you that are out there listening, if you have a specific person you want to direct the question to, let us know.
They have to either use the chat line or else they can raise their hands.
Okay,
And neither one has anybody on it right now. No hands raised or questions in the chat.
we'll wait just a second to see if there's anything that comes in on the chat, because I know it takes sometimes a few minutes to type something depending on how long it is. So we'll wait for a minute and just enjoy the silence. Brett, one thing I will add is I'm actually in my 8th year. You serve for 3 years on the advisory committee, and then you have that final obligation or final responsibility, which is what I'm doing right now, and that is chairing the nominating committee.
We have a question from the audience. It says, what type of weekly time commitment do you feel you put into your DG year?
Into your DG year, okay. Jack, do you want to tackle that, Jack?
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'd like to give you an average. I'd say some weeks it was maybe 20 hours a week. Some weeks it was 60 hours a week. So I'd say on the average, it was probably nearly a full-time job. I probably said I probably did about 30 hours a week between all the emailing, phone, visits, preparation. Some weeks were a little lighter. I probably had a few weeks where I got away with a little bit less when there wasn't as much going on, especially towards the back half of the year, but kind of leaning into it. And during the year, especially the first 6 months, it was pretty much a full-time job.
Desiree, you might want to talk about the DGE year, because that truly is almost the busiest year because of all the planning that goes on.
It is. It's a really busy year, Barbara, and with all of the planning, it's amazing. Right now, I'm currently working on developing assistant governor training, the pre-pets training, the pets training, the district assembly, pulling the team together, nailing down all those president-elects. And you know, you can sit at your desk and do a lot of planning, but a lot of that stuff, especially pulling the team together, you're talking on the phone a lot, chatting with people, getting to know people, which has been fabulous for me, getting to talk to people that I had not met before, but people interested in filling a position and talking to them about it. So I don't want to scare anybody off, but it can also consume, you know, a fair share of hours during any given week. This week happens to be awfully light. A couple of weeks I've had 9 to 12 Zoom calls and those kind of meetings. So it varies, just like Jack said, but it is a very busy year.
Okay.
And Barbara,
Yes.
Barbara, for the nominee, it's all about your training. And because we're doing Zoom online, we're doing our online Zoom NATS training, some weeks the homework was just a lot. It was a good 10 hours worth of homework, watching videos and preparing. So you do have to put in the time on the upfront as an end for your training.
And the nice thing about that, I'll tag on to that, Karen, is that there is a lot of training as a governor nominee. And Karen and I compare each week, and she goes, oh my gosh, my training was a lot this week. Mine's a lot less as a district governor-elect. And I think that's because they understand that you're doing a lot more other work, other planning work, and other committee meetings. And so a lot of the training happens in your district governor nominee year.
Yeah, this is Brent. I would say also that the more time you put into your in training and your e-planning, the less hours you'll have to put in on as you're a district governor year. And so I want to make sure that this starts when you get picked, and you'll start putting hours in right away. But the more that you prepare and plan for your year, it tends to be smoother. I don't disagree with Jack. There's weeks when it's 20, there's weeks when it's 25. But I think that the more you've planned and prepared for it, you'll probably have you'll have less time. And so, yeah, it takes time, but I'm going to tell you, it's like anything else that you get involved with. If you want to do it and do it well, it's going to take as much time as you will give it. So it can be full time. It could be, I know district governors who have full-time jobs and still do it. So it's possible, but you really ought to do, the more that you do that, the more you have to rely on the team that you put together and trust them to do it for you.
I think the big thing is you need to take a look at your own situation. You know, if you're working, what kind of flexibility do you have with your job? What are your family responsibilities? All those things that also are part of what you do on a regular basis that need to be taken into consideration.
Right.
Any other questions come through, Ray?
There's another one. It's with the training that you received, do you feel fully prepared to be successful, to successfully complete your role as DG?
Oh, this is Brent. I think the answer is yes. I will say I've gone through lots of different things, and I don't think I've ever seen a better training regiment than they do for district governors. You are well trained, and if you take the time and do the training, you will be more than prepared to complete your year.
I feel in some ways like this training during the nominee year is almost like an MBA program. I mean, we're covering conflict management, crisis management. We're talking about finances. We're talking about how you're the CEO. It's very intense. It's very, very good. I'm walking away having finished my homework now for my end year. I'm excited to go into my e-training because we're just going to take everything and make it happen.
Okay, any other questions, Ray, or any other comments?
There are no further questions or chats at this time.
Well, I'm sure if some questions come up afterwards, people are welcome to call any one of us that has served on this panel and ask any questions they might have. So, but right now you've got all the information, so it's time to decide if you wish to apply. Application is easy. All you have to do is submit your Rotary resume and a cover letter that lets the nominating committee know why you want to serve as district governor and what other experiences or qualities you have that would make you a good candidate. You want to send these 2 items to me, that's Barbara Tracy, at the email address that's on your screen by December the 15th. Interviews will be scheduled for January 7th. And by the way, if you do apply and you interview, and don't be discouraged if you aren't selected, there's only one DG every year, and DG candidates often have to apply more than once to be selected. Serving as district governor was one of the highlights, not only of my Rotary experience, but of my life. To see the incredible work, and you've heard this already from the other past district governors, to see the incredible work that our Rotary clubs are doing in their communities and in the world is heartwarming. And we encourage you all to consider applying. Serving as DG is truly a special opportunity. Thanks for tuning in and keep up all that great Rotary work. Thank you.